Good holy. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these incredible devices we use every single day. We're going to explore how computers really work, all the way from their most basic language to the browser you might be looking at right now. So, it all starts with this one big question, right? How does this box of metal and plastic, this non-living machine, actually understand what you want it to do? You can feel a little bit like magic, but I promise, by the end of this, you'll see it's all about translation.
Here's our game plan for today. First up, we'll crack the code on the computer's secret language. Then, we'll follow a single keystroke on its journey to your screen. After that, we'll see how computers talk to each other, figure out what software is all about, and finally, look at how all this stuff shapes our world.
Okay, let's dive right into our first section. This gets to the very heart of everything, the language barrier. You see, we speak in words, but computers, they speak in something way simpler. And this really shows you the basic difference. We use a whole alphabet, right? All these different letters to form ideas. A computer, though, at its very core, only has two letters to work with, a 0 and a 1. And that simplicity, well, that's actually its greatest strength.
This system has a name. It's called the binary number system. And just like the prefix bi means two, like in bicycle, this system uses just two symbols, 0 and 1. The easiest way to think about it is like a light switch. It's either off, which is a 0, or it's on, which is a 1. Every single thing a computer does is built on this super simple but incredibly powerful idea.
So now that we know about binary, let's actually see it in action. We're going to follow the lightning-fast journey from the moment you tap a key on your keyboard to the letter popping up on your screen.
So here's the puzzle, right? How do those abstract zeros and ones become the very real, very readable letters that you type every day? Well, it's all about a super fast four-step process. It all happens in the blink of an eye. First, you press a key. Instantly, your computer translates that key into binary using a kind of universal translator code called ASCII. Third, the computer's brain, the CPU, reads that binary code. And finally, the CPU tells your screen exactly which character to light up. It's just amazing how fast this all happens. And get this, this is what that secret language actually looks like. To you and me, it's the word computer, but to the machine, it's just this long string of ones and zeros. See how it's broken up? Each one of those 8-digit blocks is a single letter, translated perfectly. This is how the magic happens.
Okay, so we've seen how one computer thinks. But the real power, the thing that changed the world, is when they started talking to each other. So let's explore the world of computer networks. At its heart, a computer network is pretty simple. It's just connecting two or more computers so they can talk. The whole point is to let them share things, whether that's a document, a printer, or, a connection to the internet.
Now, these networks come in all different sizes. The smallest is a PAN, or personal area network. That's just for your own stuff, like your phone talking to your smartwatch. A step up is the LAN, a local area network, which might connect all the computers in your school or an office building. And the biggest is a WAN, or wide area network, connecting computers across cities and countries. The internet itself, that's the ultimate WAN. A lot of these connections are still physical, with wires. We use different cables for different jobs. You've got your USB cable for plugging in things like your mouse or keyboard. An Ethernet cable gives you that direct wired connection to a network. And an HDMI cable, that's for sending high-quality picture and sound to your monitor or TV. Of course, these days, so many connections are wireless. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are the two big ones, and they both use radio waves, but for totally different jobs. Think of it this way. Wi-Fi is for connecting your devices to a bigger network, like the internet. Bluetooth is for short-range, direct connections between two devices, like pairing your headphones to your phone.
All right, so we have hardware that speaks binary, and we have networks that let all that hardware talk. But how do we, as humans, tell it all what to do? Well, that's where we find the most important link of all, software.
This is where we come in. Software is basically the set of instructions that brings the hardware to life. It's the bridge between what's in our heads and what the machine actually does. Seriously, without software, a computer is just a really expensive paperweight.
There are really two main kinds of software. First, you have system software. Think of this as the foundation, your operating system, like Windows or macOS or Android. It runs everything behind the scenes. Then, on top of that, you have application software. We usually just call them apps. These are the programs you actually use to get stuff done.
And we use these kinds of applications every single day for work and school. You've got word processing software for writing, spreadsheet software for doing calculations, and presentation software to, well, share our ideas.
But the world of applications is just huge. I mean, there's incredible educational software like Google Earth that lets you explore the whole planet from your desk. There are unbelievably complex flight simulators used to train pilots. And there are all sorts of specialized tools that help people manage huge projects. Okay, for our final section, let's just zoom all the way out and appreciate how all of these pieces, the binary, the hardware, the networks, and the software, all come together to completely shape the world we live in. I mean, just stop and think about it for a second. In education, they make online learning possible. In banking, they let us move money around in an instant. They've totally changed how the workforce operates. They power all the online shopping we do, and they even help doctors and hospitals make life-saving diagnoses. They are woven into the very fabric of our lives.
And that brings us to one last little thought experiment. Just imagine for a moment if every computer on Earth just vanished tomorrow. What is the one single thing you would miss the most? Your answer really tells you just how essential these amazing machines have become to us. Thanks so much for joining me today.